Arizona State enters the Big 12 with really not a lot of expectations. Most people expecting this team to finish near the bottom of the conference. I think they actually could be a bit of a surprise team this season, just like Indiana in the Big 10. I think Arizona State could be that team in the Big 12. Before we go game by game with the predictions, just some thoughts on this team. I really think it's going to come down to the quarterback position. You bring in Sam Levitt from Michigan State, who appears to be the guy for them, but very unproven, and we'll just have to wait and see. If they get good quarterback play, I think Arizona State could be a big surprise this season. I like the running back room, wide receivers pretty good, offensive line pretty good. So yeah, quarterback play, it starts there. If it's good, I think the offense will be good. And then you look at the defense. I really like this defensive line. I think they're going to be one of the better defensive lines in the Big 12. The rest of the defense is not bad. It should be okay, but again, I think the strength will be that defensive line. So let's get into the predictions now. Vegas has the over-under at 4.5. I think that's pretty fair. I mean, that seems about right when you look at the schedule. They do have to play Mississippi State in the non-conference, and then, of course, the grind that is the Big 12. When I look at the Big 12, I think there are people that think that maybe the top several teams, there's like a big gap between those teams and the rest of the teams. And I just don't see that. I think going down, the rest of these teams, Houston and Arizona State and UCF, I think these teams are really not far behind the Utahs and Kansas States and all that. So, yeah, I think Arizona State's going to be competitive this season. I don't think they get blown out by maybe anyone. Maybe there's a game or two where they have a bad game, but I think they'll start off with a win over Wyoming. That should be a pretty easy win for them. Again, I think Arizona State's going to be a solid team, and I've got them beating Mississippi State. I think most people look at this game and see SEC here and think that Mississippi State's going to roll in this game, but when I look at these two teams, I think Arizona State's the better team, plus they're playing at home. I'm going to go Sun Devils in this one. So a 2-0 start. Then they play Texas State, who has been a sneaky good Group of 5 team. This is not going to be an easy one for this Arizona State team on the road. So watch out for this one, potential upset alert, but I think they've got enough. If the quarterback play is solid enough in this game, I think they survive a tough one on the road and then get to 3-0. So a good start here. They play Texas Tech next. Going to be a good Texas Tech team, a lot of talent, games on the road. I'm going to go with Texas Tech here in this one, so that's going to drop them to 3-1. Then they'll play Kansas after that. And again, I think this team's going to pull off a big win somewhere. They pull off a big upset, and I'm going to go with this game right here. This is the game for me. They've got a bye week before, time to prepare. I think they upset Kansas at home, a team that's going to be good, but when you just look at the talent and you match up the rosters, there's not a huge gap here. Arizona State, again, not that far behind these top teams in the Big 12, and like I said, I think they'll pull off a big win somewhere. I'm going to go with Kansas, then a quick turnaround against Utah. I don't think they win this one. Utah just too good in the trenches, and I think that will show in this game. Utah wins in this one. Then you got Cincinnati up next. On the road, I don't think Cincinnati is going to be very good, but I think their offense is going to be pretty decent, and Cincinnati's going to win a game somewhere, you would figure. I don't think they're going to go winless in the Big 12, so maybe this is that one win for them. Tough one for Arizona State after a physical game against Utah. They slip up and they get upset by Cincinnati. Then you've got Oklahoma State the next week. Going to be a really, really good team. You guys know I've talked about it. I think this is maybe the best team in the Big 12. And after Utah and after Cincinnati, they do get another bye week here, so that'll help. But I don't think it's going to be enough. Oklahoma State wins in this one. So 4-4 record. And that Oklahoma State game, if there's a game where they get blown out, I think that's probably it. But then you got UCF next at home. UCF can have some question marks on the offensive line. That's an advantage for Arizona State. Again, talked about how good I think this defensive line is going to be. This is going to be a great matchup here between Kenny Dillingham and Gus Malzahn. I'm going to go with Arizona State. They get the win because of that defensive line. That's the difference. Kansas State up next on the road. Another team that's going to be really good at the line of scrimmage. I think that is going to be a tough one for Arizona State. That's a tough place to play as well. I'm going to go Kansas State in this game. And then you got BYU at home. I think they win this game, get to a bowl game, and again, surprise a lot of people. I don't think most people expect this team to get to a bowl game. I do, but I don't think they win the final game. I think they lose to Arizona. Going to be a really high-powered offense. Don't know if Arizona State's going to be able to keep up in that one. So they finish 6-6. Get to a bowl game. Very solid season in my opinion. You can look at the predictions here and easily switch Kansas and Cincinnati. I think Kansas can be way better than Cincinnati, but that's just not always the way it goes. So that's kind of how I've been trying to do my predictions. But yeah, that you could switch those games around, but you still get to 6-6. So I do think they get there. If they lose to Mississippi State, that'll be the key, or even Texas State. If they lose one of those games, then I don't think they get to a bowl game. So if they start 3-0, I think they're going to get there. Do you guys think they'll get to a bowl game? Give me your predictions for Arizona State down in the comments below.